Hello, brothers and sisters. I would like to share some stories from my very multilingual day yesterday with some of my valued viewers. Thank you for your interest. I met with 3 different families at 3 different times. They were all new to Canada and moved here from different countries, speaking different languages. The first family I met with was from India. Their mother tongue was Tamil. They also spoke a good amount of Malayalam. They were fluent in English and knew pieces of Hindi. Now I know pieces of Tamil. I know some Malayalam, but they knew more. English is my mother tongue, but I knew more Hindi than they did. We did communicate efficiently using all 4 languages while we were together. We met at my favorite Indian restaurant, which is owned by an authentic Hindi family. Generally, when I'm there, I just speak Hindi. May sudal karahu, and they're happy to help. I showed up a little early, and there was an Indian brother and a Caucasian brother sitting waiting while I was there, so I took the opportunity to speak to them. I found out he was a Gujarati speaker, but also fluent in English and Hindi. We did use mostly English, but the Hindi that was used, he was able to understand. But as we were discussing my YouTube channel, the other brother spoke up and I found out he was Swedish. And he asked me if I knew any Swedish language. I said, actually I do. And it took me a few moments because it's been a while since I used it, but I was able to remember Fria do la tak good. And he said, oh, that's nicer than hearing hello, how are you? So I had a great chat with them while I was waiting. And then, of course, when the family showed up, I welcomed them with Vanakkam, and they were surprised I knew the difference between Nanne and Nandre, but and Nikleam. The Malayalam I did use, they were able to understand. Ito Buddhi Mutana, ito Okayana, Speakar Kalmala Sanakano. And as we were waiting, a Chinese couple came in. Now, it was a guy and a girl. Turned out the guy didn't speak any Mandarin, but he lived in Canada his whole life. The girl did speak Mandarin. 我们会说普通话，没有问题。我真的很喜欢说普通话。So that was all great going on in that Hindi restaurant. But when it came time to speak to their daughter, I said to her, you are learning English. Can you understand me? And she replied, Om. And I said, Nala, but if I'm going to help you learn English, we need to speak English. Do you understand me? And she said, yes. So we have made arrangements. And I don't know if those brothers and sisters will have time to watch this video, but in case they do, Mindam Nandre, hope you're doing well. Then I had Chinese for supper. I met a Chinese family at their home. They made a vegetarian hot pot, and it was so good. 我必须尝试，我知道 I overate yesterday. Choices and circumstances. It's just one day. But 我们会说普通话。我的听力不好. But they were happy to speak slow for me. I still had some listening troubles. 再次这些社会问题 but they were fluent in Cantonese, Mandarin, and English. Cantonese was their mother tongue. When I spoke to the child, I said, "You are learning English. Do you understand me?" But he said very clearly in English, "Yes, I can understand you, but I speak better English than Mandarin or Cantonese," which kind of surprised me. But then I found out that the language help was more for the mother. And what was happening is they moved here when the parents were a little bit older. And the mother is studying but struggling to hold on to the English language. The child is in a primarily English area, and they're experiencing some language issues and some communication issues between the mother and the son. So the language help was for her more so than the child, but we have exchanged information and we are continuing our studies online. So we're all very busy. 再次, I don't know if they will see this video, but if they do, 谢谢你的帮助，我很乐意帮忙。我希望你一切都好。回了。So then in the evening, I was out with some Filipino friends. It was not for language practice, it's just to hang out. So when I'm with them, I generally speak Filipino and they will generally speak back in English, but wala kong pakialam. Mahilig talaga akong magsalita ng Filipino. Kaya lang kong yung practice. And since we are speaking the languages, they're happy to just let the conversation flow. Their English reply can indicate to me that they know what I'm saying in Filipino, but they had lived in an area of New Brunswick, so they were fluent in Tagalog, Filipino, French, and English. Now, muli, there isn't a lot of French speakers in my immediate area. And with language, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I know pieces of French, but mas magaling ako sa Filipino. So when they didn't understand their French, I was able to speak Filipino with them. And we had a very good time. We were out fairly late. And while we were there, an elderly Vietnamese lady came in that I had worked with a few years back. I was helping a couple Vietnamese people learn English at the same time. And she was in the group. So when I seen her, I was happy to say Xin Chao and speak to her. And one thing I actually noticed while talking to her was the difference in her tempo when speaking English. Her tempo had improved a lot. And she did not lose her clarity in speeding up her talking. So I was happy to let her know, happy to see her. So obviously I had a very productive multilingual day. I'm happy to share some of the details with you. Thank you all very much for learning and respecting the English language, allowing us to continue to connect the world peacefully using English. But kaya lang kong umalis. Salamat sa iyong interes sa aking gawain sa buhay. Mahal ko kayong lahat. Gotta get going. Thank you all for your interest in my life's work. I love you all. Kumain ng mabuti at manatiling positibo. 在此用普通话说得好，保持乐观。表示 in Hindi. Acha khao, acha maha suskaru. Allah welcome samadana. Salamat ulit sa Diyos. 再见。